morning, everyone. This is the car show on the East End, hosted by Celebrity Cars. Today we have this wrapped car, and well, first let's talk about the car itself. I see a really fun front. So this is Hyundai.
Yeah, it's a 2015 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. They start at 201 horsepower from the factory.
Oh wow!
But it's up to about 245 with intake and exhaust and a computer tune. I've designed the graphics on it to make people aware of autism, and the month of April, starting today and running through the end of the month, is Autism Awareness Month. And the graphics along the car are sponsoring autism awareness.
Do you do graphic work for a living?
I design the graphics myself.
Oh.
I have sign shops cut them out and do the lettering, and then I place them myself.
Ooh, nice. Do you change up the design of the car every month?
Just about, yeah. And
Wow.
to be honest with you, I'm 62 years old. I've had 40 cars in my life, and each one has been customized, and generally the cars go through 3 or 4 different designs during the time I own them, and unfortunately when I get bored with them, they get sold and I buy a new one.
So I've been always curious about this whole like car wrapping techniques and all that. How did you learn it?
Just going to car shows when I was very young and looking at different car designs. Everything from the Batmobile to hot rods to motorcycles, chroming and all that, and just really got into it at a young age. I think my first car that I ever customized was a 1973 Pinto. It was brand new, and within 6 months I already had a V8 engine under the hood.
So I just assume this carbon fiber is a wrap?
The carbon fiber is a wrap that I won at a car show. I won a free wrapped hood, and I picked the carbon fiber design.
So someone recently recommended me to go get a heat gun and wrap so I can do the car wrap myself in the garage. Is that true?
Are you talking about doing an entire wrap? It's not as easy as it sounds.
Okay.
Just putting on the puzzle pieces alone around the car took me about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
I use wet transfer, which is I use a spray bottle with a water soap solution, and then when I put them on, I place them. It gives me a little area to move them.
Yeah?
Once I decide where I want them, then I squeegee out the soap in the water, let it dry, and they're adhered to the vehicle. But I don't use a heat gun. I've never done a full wrap on a vehicle. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Do you have a special color? No, you said you have a sign painter who sign shop.
I have a friend. His name is Sergio. He owns a sign company. He cuts out a lot of my vinyl for me, does a lot of my graphics, and it's CSC Enterprises. It's a small sign shop, but he's got all the equipment to cut the vinyl and to run the graphics like he did underneath the door and all.
And he's located in Las Vegas?
Yes. Yeah.
So the vinyl that I see on the window sometimes and the vinyl that goes on the body of the vehicle, are they the same material?
No, they're separate materials. There's several companies that make the vinyls. The window tinting was done by Hyundai when I purchased the car. They send it out to a shop, and like I said, everything else I did.
So are they, how long are those the vinyl supposed to last on the vehicle?
Well, technically it's a 5-year vinyl. In Las Vegas sun, if the car is left out and not garaged, maybe 2.5, 3 years at most. The hood should last because it's got a clear coat over it, possibly 5 years, but the car is garaged most of the time. I also have another vehicle that I move out of the garage and put this one in.
How does the heat, the Vegas heat, affect to the vinyl itself? Does it
Again, the vinyl should last about 3 years. After that, if it's in the sun, it will start to peel on the edges and it will fade. And it's not necessarily our heat, the 115, 117 degree summers. What it is, it's the UV out here. The maximum UV on the register, I believe, is 12, and Las Vegas reaches 10 and 11 quite often.
Wow.
I mean, here we are in April 1st, and you could definitely get a suntan out here today.
Yes, I can imagine I'm going to be darker at the end of the car show today.
Sure.
Is there an event coming up in Las Vegas relating to the Autism Month?
Yeah, there are. Caesar's Palace is throwing a autism awareness. I believe it's a luncheon or a dinner. I'm not sure. I just heard about it this morning on the news, and I'm in the process of getting in touch with several of the autism charities to work with them and possibly show up at all the, well, I do all the car shows, so I will be there, and hopefully Autism Awareness will be sponsoring me. There are several wonderful charity groups here in Las Vegas that sponsor autism, as well as I just found out the other day there's actually a men's group that meets once a month, and these are fathers of autistic children. And it's a support group for them because it's a very, very tough thing to live with. Each child is completely different. They have their amazing qualities. As it says here on the door, the word autism is always unique, totally interesting, and sometimes mysterious. And that's what these children are.
I totally agree. Well, let's talk about this Korean lettering on the window.
I belong to Seoul Illusions, which is a local car club here in town. They sponsor not only Korean vehicles, but Japanese and American Toyotas and all that. And the Illusions part is the car club, and then Seoul, because the car is Korean, I have the Seoul. I don't know honestly what the lettering means, but I'm sure it has something to do with Korea.
Beautiful work you have done. Thank you so much for bringing your car.
Well, thank you very much.